this before in an elevator. This is nyhetsspeilet from Norway, reporting live from the street. This is the building that used to belong to Mubarak's National Democratic Party. You can see what they did to this building. As it stands right now, it's just a symbol of corruption, symbol of the old age, symbol of mass deception. And they will not tear it down, but let it stand as a monument that they will never ever allow anything like that happen again. 2 days ago, an accident happened in a church where it's said that the police, who have a very bad reputation in Egypt right now, was instigating a violent clash to legitimize their rule in Egypt, to say to the people that without us, you will not be safe. And this is their demonstration. They're calling out bad and they're shouting against the police, telling them that we know that you're corrupt, we know that you're working for and you're being paid by Mubarak to create chaos so that the old forces can regain control and order. This is a people which have been under slavery for 2,000 years since the pyramid was built. This is their first revolution, which is truly a people's uprising, which started on the internet, on a Facebook wall. More people joined that wall, and the situation got out of control, and people just started demonstrating and protesting, and 1 million joined within just a couple of days. This tells us it's been coming a long time. A lot of people are concerned that this is another CIA coup vendetta or coup d'état. It's not. Gradually this has been built up. Today they're free, they can say whatever they want. 6 months ago they were demonstrating, 200 max, 200 or 300. They were protesting, saying that they want fair elections and more political opposition. And since that day, people have just been suppressed. CIA's Suleiman, the torturist trained in America, have imprisoned a lot of political prisoners. People who speak up are in jail today, and maybe many more after this civil clashes started. And the civil clash was also instigated by the government. Mubarak's forces were going to the rural, poor places around the suburbs of Egypt, hiring people with 20 Egyptian pounds to come out here and be violent and give an impression to the Western media that this is not Egypt as one against its government. They want to show the world that, hey, look, there's democracy here. People are against each other. They're fighting. It's not only the whole of Egypt rallied against us. For the first time, people are proud to say they're Egyptian. I had a conversation with a guy. He said, if you were talking to me like 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, I would not say I'm Egyptian because it's a shame. Now they're proud. Now they have what they didn't. They can speak their mind openly and free on the internet. They can still, and they're still trying because the military is not fully giving them the right to have peaceful assembly. They don't want big demonstrations anymore. And this is the only way to finish what they started. The protests have to continue, and tomorrow, if demands are not met, if all changes that they want, it's simple steps, it's very simple steps, 3 steps to just, one of them is cleared out, to take Mubarak out. The other one is tracing his people and his money and giving it back to the people, and shutting down the Ministry of Internal Affairs, which they say are corrupted. 80% of them have stolen, they have betrayed their people, and they want to see judgment, people being put in jail for what they have done. And the third is that they shall, inshallah, have another people elected government in the fair and square election that is coming up in September, and they must allow new parties to form, or else it's just going to be the same forces with new, how do you say it, with new people, come with new faces, but the same old rule, you know. The revolution was leaderless. Not one leader, not two, but all of Egypt was a leader. Every one of them, every young people was a leader, and the love was leading them towards their goal. And the stubbornness, oh my God, they did not obey. They were sent home, they were put in jail, shot at, they were beaten up, they sacrificed their blood, they lost a lot of people. 300 of them are now martyrs. Their faces are on the walls all across Egypt, as the Hamas movement in Palestine is putting up their children as martyrs, to make the people remember what happened and that they should not give up the fight. This is not just Egypt. This is a free movement that is being spread across now, and they're trying to break the chains of 2,000 years of American and British rule over the Middle Eastern states. Do not forget, Algeria was heavily bombed. 8 million were killed just in 1958. Tunisia was slaughtered by the French army. They burned down the crops around big towns so that they would just starve to death. The ruling colonial powers have just changed their game set. Now they just call it globalization, but it's the same colonial exploitation going on with a new word and a nicer meaning to it, as forming all nations under one. So we're basically fighting the same war, and we have the same enemies, whether you are in Greece, or you're in England, or you're in America, or in Tunisia, Libya. It's the same power that is depressing all of the world. It's 2% ruling and owning most of the power and most of the resources, most of the bread, most of the housing, the banking systems. All is being controlled and benefited for just a few percent of the people here. So we have to realize this is the way to fight. We have to fight back. We have to just run and capture a square and bring water, bring lots of food, bring tents, and just stay there. Don't leave, as they did in Egypt, and inspired the rest of the world to do the same. Bahrain is occupying their square right now, their Freedom Square, as they have just renamed it. Palestine is out cheering on the streets, saying, hey, change will come. Maybe Mubarak or maybe Egypt won't contribute to the blockade in Gaza, the biggest outdoor prison in the world, where 1.5 million people are being imprisoned. This is just a shame. How can we in the Western world let a terror state like Israel have any financial or diplomatic or cultural bonds with our nations? Here they're fearing that if the biggest employer of Egypt, which is the military, will give up and lay down their guns, then Israel and their Zionist ruling powers will fulfill the dreams they had in the beginning of the 19th century, where they wanted a big Ezrat, a big Israel, consistent of big parts of Iraq, Jordan, and Egypt. So it's our responsibility in the Western world to see that this will not happen by not giving Israel oil. Norway is one of the leading countries in the world who is supplying and feeding the lubricant in the war machine. We're also one of the countries who have supported Israel since the beginning. We gave them heavy water so that they could have their nuclear bombs and make them invincible in the area, because they're actually that crazy that they could blow up everything with their own people just going down for God and the chosen people. So heavily brainwashed they are, they will actually believe that messiahs will come back if they blow up this bomb. And this way we can also prevent that a further escalation with the Iranian government will happen. It's our responsibility, the civilized world, where we have freedom, where we can go out in the streets and demonstrate without being shot. I know America shot rubber bullets and tear gas and pepper sprayed and used these sound weapons in the G20 meeting in Pittsburgh and also in Seattle. So there's hard, man. There's hard, brutal force suppressing people's movement all across the world. So we have to go out now while we still have a tiny bit of piece of freedom left and take this huge cake and share it with the world. Let everyone get a piece of this big cake. There's so much to give to everyone. They can have, if they want, a peaceful world with no military presence, no checkpoints in Gaza, in Israel. Even Israel will have it better if they just lay down their weapons. I also have to say that most people here in Egypt are not in support of the Muslim Brotherhood. So all you in America, the journalists who are pumping out fear now and saying that this Muslim Brotherhood is an extreme terror group, they're not getting support in Egypt. They are actually, most of the people I have spoken to are against them. They're opposing Muslim Brotherhood. They want something new. They don't want 33 level of secrecy, which is basically what the Brotherhood is, another strain of the Freemasonic world and a controlled religious opposition to the power here. It's just a fake facade to show that, oh, okay, you have imams, but they're really not Egyptian made. They're made in Britain in the 1920s, Muslim Brotherhood. You can go check that up. So do not fear that this nation here is a violent, animalistic, human population. Do not believe what CBS told you happened the day of the celebration where Mubarak stepped down, that a journalist was raped by 200 people. I was here. None ever like that took place. Children are out in the streets. Please, Egyptians are not animals. It's not a rural, impoverished state. They're actually civilized people here. This is just a new type of warmongering, because the same channel has also gone out and said that Egypt has secretly past the 30 years been creating weapons of mass destruction. And if the game plan, as I hope it will not evolve, turns out that the military or the free elections are won by the Muslim Brotherhood, then believe me, this is not a fair and square election. This is the agenda of Israel and the Zionists to have their terrorists, their fundamentalists in power to radicalize the nations and make us in the Western world believe that there are terrorists and all that. So there are a new war of terror, expansion of the old terror world war, and the ruling of military presence of America and across the nation. They just want that to expand by saying that Muslim Brotherhood, maybe they will even stage another coup attack and blame it on Egypt. Who knows? This is not what the people here want. So Muslim Brotherhood, we know you're Freemasons. We know you belong to the British aristocracy, and we know that one of the most suppressed and enslaved people of Egypt have built the pyramids for 2,000 years. Will not ever let you do that again.